Hello folks, and welcome to another Richard Head Longbows video. Yes, the channel that helps you make bows and arrows and other associated things by using or abusing our 30 plus years of professional experience. And yeah, it's been an interesting Christmas and New Year, and we're raring to get back into things. Yeah, well, maybe.
Sort of.
It's just about ready to get back into things. And we've been working on some stuff to put in our catalogue. And one of the other things that we've been doing is renewing some of our videos. We've been making videos for, I think it's 10 years or more now here on the lovely YouTube. And at the beginning, well, we had no idea what we were doing. And some might say we still don't know what we're doing. No. But we have improved some of the equipment and some of our abilities to video things. And we're renewing some of those older videos that perhaps weren't as well made as perhaps they could have been.
Is that because of the equipment or the...
Yeah, a bit of both.
Right.
Yes, being crap and equipment. Yes. So we're looking at... What are we looking at?
Goodness knows.
Well, let's have a look at some of the things that we have been working on. It's one of these.
Yeah, big
what
jig.
is this?
Well, it's a big jig.
When
we
jig.
first started making medieval arrows, we realised there wasn't a simple jig available to do a 6-inch or even bigger fletch. So we started producing these, made from wood with a brass clip. A very simple jig. You can't adjust the angle, anything like that, but they wouldn't have done that in medieval arrows. They'd have done it all by hand anyway. So we're not trying to say that this is a copy of a medieval jig.
No, we don't really know what was used particularly anyway.
I doubt they used anything. They'd have been clever enough to do it by hand, and they'd have probably got the children doing it, or young,
like we do.
Ooh, I love working for Richard Head Longbows, me.
Aye.
I don't.
Yeah, young girls who've got nimble fingers to do that fletching and binding and all the rest of it. But a number of people do use these at medieval reenactment events.
Yeah, he looks a bit more the part.
Who are pretending to be a fletcher, or maybe some of them do make arrows.
I mean, that's your sort of modern equivalent or an alternative. And as Richard said, it's not big enough to fit the larger feathers in anyway, and it doesn't really look the part. So this is at least part of the way there to looking a bit better.
It is. You've got about 9 inches between the uprights, and then you've got the brass clip that you put the fletches into.
And they just go in like that. It's quite simple. They push in. And that one's that's actually an early 7-inch fletch. That one, as I say, which obviously isn't going to fit in your normal jig.
No, and then that just slots down in there. We tend to use masking tape, fletching tape. Masking tape just doesn't work. Don't try.
No, don't use masking tape.
Double-sided fletching tape. So put it on the arrow. It sticks instantly. You can take the clip off straight away. And so you can fletch 3 fletches quite quickly, and then we bind them on. The fletching tape on itself might be okay on a longer fletch, but there's a lot of curl in them. But once you've put it on, you can then whip it on, and no problem. It just speeds up the process a little bit.
Yeah, in the past we sometimes did use super glue, but we actually found that the tape does seem to stick a little bit better. The super glue doesn't always take to the wood, depending on what wood the shaft is, but we found it doesn't always work so well. And the super glue can be a bit messy. If you go wrong with it, you can end up with it sticking to the clamp, and also sticking to the feathers and ruining the feathers
and your fingers
permanently
stuck to arrow shaft.
So with the tape, it's a lot easier to use, and it comes off easier if you need to redo it or you've got it wrong. Whereas a super glue is not so easy to deal with. Now we've been making these for quite some time, so it's a nice opportunity. Hopefully you've been looking at that footage while we're jabbering away of how that actually works in a little bit better detail than we managed in the other video. Now we do have something new to add to the family of big jigs, as it's now going to become known.
The super big jig,
the
or
excellently
the
large,
really big jig,
the hyper, super, fantastically large, massive,
giant,
impossibly big jig. Yes, let's have a look at that.
Yeah, we've had a customer in America. He wanted to fletch 12-inch fletches on an arrow, The feathers, not many of them come that length anymore, but you can splice them together. So he also wants to use 1/2 inch diameter shafts. So the V cutouts at the end we've made bigger, and we've made the jig bigger to accommodate.
Made the big jigger.
The big
jigger is bigger than it was. The big jigger.
Whatever it is. So that's just over 12 inches, about 12.5 inches between the supports. So he can...
It's a lot bigger. There's a bigger jigger.
The bigger jig. So he can fletch the 12-inch fletches without any problem. So we can custom make them if required, obviously at slightly increased price,
yes,
extra expense, because there is more. The brass is nowadays very expensive, and we've got a bit more work involved in making them bigger, apart from the extra material involved.
And they're more difficult to pack.
Yeah.
So you can find a bigger box to put the bigger, super, hyper, massive, stupidly big jig in it.
I would have thought that's probably about as big as we can go.
Yeah.
Without.
I don't see why you'd need any bigger than that, really. No. Unless you're repairing an ostrich with its feathers, perhaps.
You never know. So that's it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's given you a bit more of a better look in fancy high def at the big and super fantastically, excellently large, big, massive jig that we're now making. Just one of the new and exciting things happening this year, 2020, here at Wretched Head Longbows. So if you want a big jig, a standard big jig, I suppose we're going to have to start calling this, or the original big jig, the original jig. I don't know what we're going to have to start calling that now. It's a bit like when they bring out new films and they remake them, and then you've just got to start naming them by the year. So that's the 2010s jig. This is the 2020s big jig. They are obviously on our website, and that will be in the description box below if you want to go and have a look at those. We do hand make them, so they aren't always in stock, so be patient if they're not there. We try and make them as quickly as we possibly can to get them in stock. And obviously we sell all the feathers and bits and pieces, the full length feathers that go in this sort of jig, and all the shafts and other bits and pieces. And again, that's all on the website. We're going to be updating the website soon, so it might look a little bit different, and everything will be in a different place and will really annoy you because you won't be able to find anything.
That's what I like.
So we're going to do that every month just to irritate you.
Is it like Windows 10?
Yes, a bit like Windows 10. We're going to update that every 2 minutes. And you'll have no idea where anything is, but you won't get any viruses.
No,
apparently,
good,
which is excellent. So there we are. We hope you enjoyed having a look at that, and we do wish you a happy new year and many exciting endeavours that we'll get up to.
Fair enough.
We'll update you with everything we make. We'll see you again soon, folks, and thanks very much for watching.
Thank you.
The super, hyper, massive, great big, fantastically large, enormo jig.
Right.